Title: Star Wars: Freefall of the 501st. The drop begins. The sky was alive with the roar of engines as Republic gunships hovered above the volcanic plains of Thalax 9, their hulls glowing in the dim light of the twin suns. The mission was simple: drop behind enemy lines, secure the facility, and eliminate all separatist forces in the area. Captain Rex stood at the edge of the bay door, his parachute rig secured tightly to his Katarn-class armor. Below him, rivers of molten rock cut through jagged cliffs, sending plumes of black smoke into the sky. 501st. Prepare for drop, came the voice of their commander over comms. One by one, the blue-striped clone troopers leaped into the abyss, their parachutes blooming like white flowers against the burning sky. Rex took a deep breath, tightened his grip on his gear, and jumped. Adrift into disaster. The rush of wind roared in his ears as he fell. His HUD tracked his descent, confirming he was on course. Everything was going smoothly. Until it wasn't. A powerful gust ripped through the canyon, slamming into Rex's parachute like a battering ram. His descent suddenly jerked off course, and his heads-up display flashed red with warnings. "Captain, adjust your glide. You're drifting too far." Jesse's voice crackled over the comms. Rex struggled with the controls, trying to angle his body to correct the course. But it was no use. His altimeter counted down the meters rapidly. And then he saw it. Beneath him, the ground gave way to a churning lake of lava, its surface bubbling and belching clouds of superheated gas into the air. Panic set in. "I'm off course! I've lost control! Somebody, guide me in!" Rex shouted through his helmet. The comms exploded with voices. "Captain, deploy emergency thrusters. There's no time. He's too low. Hang on, we're trying to reach you." Rex twisted in midair, desperately reaching for his emergency release, but the wind spun him violently, making it impossible to reach. He was seconds away from the lava. Desperate pleas. "Rex, cut your chute. Try to roll out." "I can't. I'm too low. I can't." The heat was unbearable now, waves of scorching air licking at his armor. The last thing Rex heard over his helmet's comms was Jesse's frantic voice. "Captain, no!" Impact. The final moments. Rex's boots touched the lava first. For a split second, he felt nothing, just a searing, white-hot pressure. Then the pain came. The metal of his armor warped instantly, the blue and white plating bubbling and peeling away like wax. The heat surged up his legs, cooking the flesh beneath in an instant. The reinforced duraplast of his shin guards snapped apart, giving way to the raw, burning agony of molten rock fusing with his skin. He screamed, his voice a broken, garbled wail over the comms. The viscous lava pulled him deeper. His knees buckled as the weight of his own body forced him further into the molten pit. His gloves melted away, leaving blackened, charred bone where his fingers had been, as he desperately tried to claw at the surface. The visor of his helmet fogged instantly, the internal display glitching and sparking before going black. His screams grew weaker, turning into a strangled gurgle as the fire crept up his torso. The lava poured into his armor, filling every gap, every crack, seeping through the vents, boiling him alive from the inside out. His lungs collapsed. The pain, once unbearable, became distant. His thoughts blurred, the voices on the comms a distant echo. The last thing Captain Rex saw before the lava swallowed him completely was the sky above. His brothers still descending safely onto the battlefield, unaware that their leader was gone. Then, with a sickening hiss, his helmet vanished beneath the molten surface. Aftermath. The remaining members of the 501st stood at the edge of the drop zone, their helmets lowered in mute horror. There was no body to recover, no remains to bury, only the faint glow of the lava in the distance and the echoes of their captain's final, desperate pleas still ringing in their ears. That day, the 501st lost more than a soldier. They lost their leader, and for the rest of their lives, they would remember the name Captain Rex and the mission where he never came home.